Today, I'm going to help you not feel guilty or shame, stress or anxiety when you consume a certain food. You know when you eat something and you instantly feel those feelings of, I shouldn't have done that, I'm evil, there's guilt, there's shame there. And I want to explain and help you using these scales as an analogy. Or is it an analogy? I'm not too sure. I'm going to use the scales anyway. As you see, two sides and two different colors. One side, the green, represents nutrient-dense foods. Foods which are high in nutrients. So whole foods, lean protein sources, good fats, fruits and vegetables, those sort of foods. Then on the other side we have, this is more of a pink, but let's just say pink. We have a pink. Now the pink represents less nutrient-dense foods. Foods such as ultra-processed foods, sugary foods, chocolates, biscuits, desserts, things like that. Now I want you to know something. Actually, let me meet you where you're at right now. I'm going to take a big guess, and I'm going to say 90% certainty that you are doing your best to tip the scale to the green side. I am sure you're waking up every day and thinking, okay, I want to feel good, I want to feel healthy. What are those decisions and choices that I have to make? Well, I'm going to make sure I'm getting my fruits and vegetables in. You're thinking that every morning, as best as I can. Well, I want to stay hydrated, so I'm going to make sure I am keeping up with my hydration levels. I want to eat protein sources. I want to hit my protein goals for me to have good energy, maintain muscle mass. And I'm sure you're waking up and thinking, I just want to eat a good balanced diet, which makes me feel great. I'm sure you're doing that. But at the same time, I'm going to take a guess. You are putting yourself down when you have a bit of chocolate. I'm going to say that when you have that dessert or that wine with your friend, that evening, there's shame, there's guilt. I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to say maybe you had a little bag of crisps watching a film the other day, and you're eating them and you're thinking, I shouldn't be doing this. It's going to ruin all my progress. It's going to tip the scale too far. But here's what I want you to know. If the majority of your consumption is based on whole foods, it's based on nutrient-dense foods, and you doing your best to eat accordingly to what you feel great with and what makes you thrive. If the occasional red happens in the week, that dessert, that bit of wine, those crisps, watching TV. Now I know this is just a picture, so obviously it's not going to move, but this is what is happening. If this side is your focus and you're doing everything here to tip the scale this side, as you see, the scale doesn't move too much if the occasional red goes in there. So what I'm trying to say here is the occasional less nutrient-dense choice that you're making won't hinder your progression. It won't negate all of your work. It won't negate all of your efforts. And it doesn't do too much with this scale. It doesn't tip your scale down the path of, I should feel guilt, I should feel shame, I should feel these emotions for occasionally enjoying a red here and there. So hopefully what I'm painting here is, if you are consistent with the green side, this side of the scale, you can absolutely enjoy that dessert, enjoy that chocolate, have that night with your friends, whatever that enjoyment is, without the guilt, without the shame, because, like I said, it doesn't negate your efforts and it doesn't sway the scale too far. Here's where it could. Give me 1 second. Hopefully I'm making sense with all of this and you're thinking, okay, this is making sense. Maybe I shouldn't feel what I'm feeling with these foods, because you're right. I am trying my best here and it's only occasionally I have a red. So yes, hopefully what you're thinking now is, I shouldn't feel those feelings. So what I was saying is, it should only be a concern. You're going to see my drawing in real time now. It should only be a concern if, you probably know what I'm going to do here. if, I won't color them in just to save some time, the red side is becoming more of the green side. And as you see, this is when it tips the scales. Actually, it shouldn't be the other way around. Shouldn't be that way. You know what I'm trying to say. The reds, if the reds are outweighing the greens, then we want to have an honest conversation. But it's not a case of you're an evil person or putting yourself down. It's just having an honest conversation with yourself and saying, yep, I am having more reds. I'm having more ultra-processed foods. I'm having more of the donuts, the crisps. I'm having them more than occasionally. I'm having them daily, and I'm not getting the greens in as much as I should. This is an honest conversation that you're thinking, okay, my scales is probably tipped to the side that I don't want. So what do? We just reduce the reds and increase the greens. It's not a big deal. Don't beat yourself up if that's the case. If you're thinking, okay, maybe that's my side of the scales right now. Okay, great, no problem. But what can we do? We reduce the reds, we increase the greens. I won't draw it again because I won't bore you with my drawing, but this then balances everything back out. Now we have a sustainable nutrition practice because you're understanding the balance between these two. Yes, this should be the focus, but at the same time, it's absolutely okay, like I said, if the occasional red sneaks there in the week. Because for me, that's a fun, that's an enjoyable, that's a sustainable nutrition practice. As opposed to just thinking, I'm all green, no red. Life's to be enjoyed, right? 90% of greens, 10% reds, or whatever the calculation, I'm not great at percentages, will be absolutely fine. Remember, and here's the key thing I want to finish on. Health, nutrition is the cumulative effect of all of the dietary choices that you make over the weeks, over the months, over the years. Not, where's my red? Not with a single food, not with just one donut, one bag of crisps, whatever the one is, not with one red. It's the total effect of the summation of all of your diet over the days, the weeks, the months, the years. Not with one single decision. So wrapping this all together, try to think about that when you're putting yourself down, when you're in that moment of stress, anxiety, self-sabotage. You just had the food or you're just about to and you feel those emotions creep in. Remember this, think about, well, my scales is towards the green side. I can absolutely enjoy a red. Without guilt, without shame, because it's not going to sway my scales too much. Hopefully that helps you out today. And this isn't a case of you finishing this post and thinking, okay, that's going to work straight away. It's practice, right? We don't just suddenly have that perfect relationship with the food. It's practice, but it's you every day now practicing, okay, where are my scales at? Let me enjoy a red. I'm being great with my greens, quite literally, so let me have a red. Fine. Actually, my reds are way more than my greens right now. Cool, let's not beat myself up. Let's get rid of a few reds, increase the greens to bring that scale back to what the body wants really is homeostasis, which just means balance, equilibrium. So don't feel guilt or shame when you have that single food choice because it won't sway the scales too much, all right? Thanks for your time, and I really do hope this was helpful today.